Okay, so good day to all of you who are present in this meeting room. So I hope you can gain more insights on my study or my presentation. So the title of my study is Self-Identity and Empowerment Mechanism of Physically Challenged Student Athletes. So I will be your discussant for today, and my name is Miss Maria Windee and Ireneo. And for the introduction, people with disabilities usually have problems with self-efficacy and other ego-related issues because they are perceived to be different. So their disability may be a factor for not striving and giving their best. So significant others of children diagnosed with disabilities may be disposed to treating them differently. And these children have psychosocial problems inside and outside the classroom. So this is according to McMaster 2002. Physical activity and sports have developed during the recent decade as a legitimate and appropriate social environment for persons with disabilities. And empowerment is a process by which people gain power over their lives. The empowerment role of sports organization is to develop human resources through the athletic medium. And the purpose of this study is to examine some aspects of sports as an empowering context for those who participate, with a special emphasis on athletes with disability. So there is a trend in the world to promote integration of individuals with disabilities. And also in sports. So sport has been credited with teaching positive values and building of character and physique. So if the disability sport is integrated in ordinary sport, so the question is how such positive or negative aspects will affect the identity of individuals with disability. So here are the theories conspired on my study. So Marsh's theory of identity. So achievement argues that two distinct parts form an adolescent's identity. So crisis and commitment. So crisis example of it is a time when one's values and choices are being reevaluated. And commitment, of course. So he defined as a crisis as a time of upheaval where old values or choices are being re-examined. So the end of outcome of a crisis leads to a commitment made to a certain role or value. So another theory is the empowerment theory of Holden 2005 and Spear 2001. So it connects individual well-being with the larger social and political environment and suggests that people need opportunities to become active in community decision making in order to improve their lives, organization, and communities. So this were my methods. So the study aimed at determining the level of self-identity and empowerment mechanism of physically challenged student athletes in Antique, Philippines. So the respondents were 50 purposefully selected physically challenged student athletes. The data were gathered using the adaptive instruments, AIMS, and self-identity instrument by Kaslak 2004, as well as the inspired instrument from psychological empowerment by DeWar, learner empowerment scale by Freimer, Schulman, and Hauser, and psychological empowerment instrument by Spritzer 1995. So here were my results. So the results showed that the level of self-identity of physically challenged student athletes when taken as an entire group and when classified as to age, self-identity and sports preference was very good. So moreover, the level of empowerment mechanism was high whether classified as an entire group or when grouped according to age, sex, disability, and sport preference. So there was no significant difference in the level of self-identity and empowerment mechanism of physically challenged student athlete when classified according to age, sex, and disability. However, there was a significant difference in the level of self-identity of physically challenged student athlete when classified as to sports preference. So similar results showed in the empowerment mechanism of physically challenged student athlete. In addition, the study revealed a positive, significant relationship between the level of self-identity and the empowerment mechanism of physically challenged student athlete in the province of Antique, Philippines. So for the conclusion, there was a moderately positive correlation between their self-identity and empowerment mechanism, which was statistically significant. So both self-identity and empowerment mechanism move in tandem in the same direction. Therefore, as their self-identity increases, their empowerment mechanism is also increases. What happens to individual depends on what is happening in society during the historical period in which they live. So the environment you are engaging with has a big impact on how you will build a positive identity and empowering yourself. So identity is perceived to be the basis of self-definition, since identities contain personal characteristics, social roles, and affiliation to social groups. So it is through the interaction with the physically challenged student athletes environment where their identity, self-image, and self-esteem are formed. So through their interaction in their environment, they will form their own self-identity because they mirror themselves to the people that surrounds them. Okay, so that composes my study. So thank you for listening. And do you have any questions for me or for the organization? So that's all. Thank you.